In a small town in Idaho, a year-long mystery unfolds as Bryan Kohberger stands accused of 4 counts of first-degree murder and felony burglary. The victims, University of Idaho students, were brutally stabbed to death in their rental home near campus. As the legal process unfolds, questions arise about the strength of the prosecution's case against Kohberger. In this episode of Sidebar, we sit down with Bryan Anand, News Nation's senior national correspondent, who has been covering the case extensively. Together, we delve into the most compelling pieces of evidence that may determine the fate of the accused killer. Imagine a quiet university town where 4 young lives were tragically cut short in a horrific crime. Picture the crime scene, a rental home near the University of Idaho campus, where the lives of Ethan, Chapin, Zor, Cod, Kaya, Gon, Sauls, and Madison Mogan came to a shocking end. Now try to grasp the impact this brutal incident had on the tight-knit community. It wasn't just a crime, it was a seismic event that sent shockwaves through the town. Families were shattered, friends were left in disbelief, and the entire community was forever changed. Shining a spotlight on the accused, Bryan Kohberger adds another layer to this tragic narrative. Imagine a 28-year-old criminology student pursuing a doctoral degree at Washington State University. His life, seemingly on track, took a dark turn during Christmas break. In the midst of the holiday season, while many were celebrating with their families, Bryan Kohberger found himself under arrest. The arrest wasn't a routine one, it was a pivotal moment that marked the beginning of a legal saga that would captivate the nation. Think about the weight of the charges against Kohberger, not just 1 count of first-degree murder, but 4, along with a felony burglary charge. The gravity of the situation was underscored by a grand jury indictment, signifying that the evidence was substantial enough to warrant the most serious charges. And then, there's the haunting reality that the state is seeking the death penalty. The stakes couldn't be higher. It's not just a criminal case, it's a case that will navigate the complex landscape of justice, legality, and the ultimate consequences. Take a moment to absorb the enormity of this situation. The victims, the crime scene, and the accused, all intertwined in a narrative that demands answers, justice, and an exploration of the facts that will unfold in the upcoming trial. Let's dive deeper into the digital forensics that play a pivotal role in unraveling the events surrounding Bryan Kohberger on that haunting night. Imagine a technological tapestry where every ping and timestamp becomes a brushstroke in the canvas of this chilling narrative. In a world dominated by smartphones and constant connectivity, the digital realm becomes both a witness and an accomplice. Kohberger's cell phone records, like an electronic breadcrumb trail, offer a glimpse into his movements during the critical hours when tragedy struck near the University of Idaho. Picture investigators meticulously piecing together this intricate puzzle, a map of timestamps, GPS coordinates, and patterns that illuminate Kohberger's proximity to the crime scene. The courtroom becomes a stage where experts analyze the electronic whispers embedded in the digital record. Yet, as we navigate through this labyrinth of data, we encounter the defense's counter-narrative. Envision a legal team crafting a storyline where Kohberger's late-night drives are portrayed as innocuous, habitual, and completely divorced from the horrors that unfolded at the University of Idaho. Consider the defense's portrayal, painting a picture of Kohberger as an individual who sought solace in the quiet of the night, with late drives being a mere reflection of personal habits. The courtroom transforms into a battleground, where the prosecution's interpretation of cell phone data clashes with the defense's attempt to reinterpret those digital footprints. Yet, here's where the intrigue deepens. Picture the prosecution presenting a key piece of evidence: the intentional act of turning off Kohberger's cell phone around the time of the murders. Imagine the collective gasp in the courtroom as this revelation hangs in the air, a moment pregnant with suspicion and anticipation. In a society where phones are an extension of ourselves, deliberately severing that connection at such a critical juncture raises eyebrows. It becomes a compelling detail that the prosecution weaves into the narrative, adding an extra layer of intrigue and prompting questions about intent, awareness, and the shadows that linger in the digital realm. As we traverse the complex landscape of cell phone records, late-night drives, and the deliberate act of disconnection, we find ourselves at the intersection of technology and human behavior. The courtroom, with its intensity and scrutiny, becomes the arena where these nuances will be dissected, debated, and ultimately weighed in the pursuit of justice. Now let's shift our focus to a tangible piece of evidence in the form of a vehicle. A white Hyundai Elantra that in many ways becomes a silent witness to the unfolding tragedy. Picture this car as a critical element in the puzzle, its significance unraveling in the halls of justice. Visualize the investigation honing in on surveillance footage, where the white Hyundai Elantra repeatedly makes appearances near the crime scene. It becomes a phantom presence captured on camera, a silent observer to the events that transpired in the darkened halls of the University of Idaho rental home. Imagine the meticulous scrutiny of these recorded moments as investigators connect the dots between the car's movements and the timeline of the gruesome murders. The courtroom becomes a space where these visual clues are dissected, amplifying the significance of the white Hyundai Elantra as a key player in the unfolding drama. Now picture the pivotal moment when law enforcement tracks down the elusive vehicle. Picture it sitting innocuously in a parking lot, registering as just another car in the sea of vehicles. Yet beneath its unassuming exterior lies a crucial link to the investigation. Consider the discovery of the car as a turning point. The white Hyundai Elantra, once a fleeting presence in surveillance footage, now sits as a tangible piece of evidence, waiting to tell its story in the courtroom. It's a moment when investigators uncover the registration details, and the car's ownership is traced back to none other than Bryan Kohberger. Think about the weight of this revelation. A vehicle that had surreptitiously roamed the vicinity of the crime scene, now directly linked to the accused. The courtroom atmosphere thickens with anticipation as the prosecution crafts a narrative around this tangible connection. In the legal theater, the white Hyundai Elantra becomes a character in its own right, a silent observer turned star witness. Its presence near the crime scene, captured in surveillance footage, becomes a thread in the intricate tapestry of evidence. The upcoming trial promises to unravel more details about this vehicle and its role in the tragic events that unfolded in that off-campus rental home. As we navigate through the labyrinth of evidence, let's turn our attention to the human side of this tragic tale. The surviving roommate whose testimony could potentially cast a light on the shadows of that haunting night. In the courtroom drama that awaits, imagine the weight of her words echoing through the legal proceedings. Picture the survivor, Dylan Mortensen, a witness who holds fragments of the puzzle that unfolded in the darkened halls of the University of Idaho rental home. She becomes a storyteller, sharing her account of a night that forever altered the lives of those present. As she takes the stand, imagine the challenges and sensitivities surrounding her testimony. In the courtroom, her narrative becomes a delicate dance between reliving the horrors she witnessed and providing the crucial details that could help unveil the truth. The air is tense, charged with the gravity of her words. Consider her recollection, waking up in the wee hours to a mysterious sound, hearing cries, and encountering a figure shrouded in darkness. Envision the courtroom hanging on to every word, each detail a piece of the puzzle that investigators and legal minds will scrutinize. But let's not forget the human aspect. Picture the emotional toll on Dylan Mortensen as she revisits the nightmarish memories. The courtroom becomes a space where the delicate balance between justice-seeking and empathetic understanding is tested. Now, imagine the potential impact of her testimony on the trial. In a narrative already woven with digital footprints, a mysterious car, and forensic details, her personal account becomes a critical thread. Will her words provide clarity or introduce new complexities? The courtroom awaits the revelation. In the legal theater, Dylan Mortensen becomes a central figure, a survivor whose testimony may guide the jury's understanding of the events that transpired. The defense and prosecution navigate the nuances of her account, aware that her words have the power to shape perceptions and influence the pursuit of justice. As we approach the trial, we recognize the delicate interplay between the survivor's narrative and the legal machinery. In the quest for truth, her testimony becomes a beacon, guiding the proceedings through the shadows of that harrowing night. Now, let's venture into the realm of speculations and expectations, where the courtroom drama promises surprises and challenges. Imagine the legal battlefield where bombshell evidence could be lurking, waiting to reshape our understanding of this complex case. Picture the anticipation surrounding undisclosed evidence, the prosecution's ace up their sleeve. What bombshells might they unleash during the trial? As we wait, the courtroom becomes a stage for revelations that could tip the scales of justice. Consider the defense armed with the expectation that genetic genealogy will be a focal point. Picture the legal minds at work, crafting a strategy to question the legitimacy of certain evidence. The courtroom transforms into a battleground where the defense seeks to cast doubt on the foundations of the case. Now imagine the potential impact if the defense successfully challenges key elements. The carefully constructed narrative could unravel, creating seismic shifts in how the jury perceives the evidence. The courtroom atmosphere becomes charged with the uncertainty of legal twists and turns. In this speculative landscape, we grapple with the unknowns, foreseeing a trial that holds the potential for unforeseen revelations and strategic maneuvers. As the legal saga unfolds, the quest for truth becomes a dynamic journey where each side navigates the uncertainties to shape the final narrative in their favor. In the conclusion, the discussion centers on the possibility of additional bombshell evidence yet to be revealed. Anand expresses his anticipation of more details emerging during the trial, drawing parallels to other high-profile cases where unexpected revelations unfolded in court. The focus shifts to the genetic genealogy aspect, with Anand questioning its potential vulnerability and its impact on the overall case. As the legal drama continues, both the prosecution and defense are poised to present their arguments, leaving the outcome hanging in the balance. Make sure to subscribe for more videos in the future.